Hey everyone. Today I'm going to tell you a little story. Actually, it's a great big story. Story of how I got to right here, this moment where I am right now. Right here on video in front of you. I'm glad I can smile now because let me tell you, when it started, I wasn't smiling. Nearly a year ago, end of July, 1st of August, I took a day off from work and I went to this waterfall. It's about an hour and a half away from me. Drove out real super early in the morning. It was still dark outside. So I made my way to this waterfall with my camera to take photos. Hiked down the side of the mountain and it was amazing. It was so gorgeous. I got so many just beautiful photos. I was there alone for hours, exploring, being one with nature, doing my thing. I had a great day. I felt so good and energized and renewed, and it was just amazing. You see, at that time in my life, I had been learning how to be by myself and do things by myself, even though I was married in a relationship. My husband and I had different what's the word? I went blank. We didn't like the same things, you know. So we didn't do things together very much. Very seldom did we actually go do activities together. He did his thing and I did mine. It's not a really good way to have a relationship, but it worked. It worked for us. We got along, right? On the way home, I hiked back up that mountain, got in my car, and headed home. Hour and a half drive home. All the way, I kept seeing these numbers, 555, 555. Every time I turned around, there was 555 in my face. For me, that signifies change. When I see those numbers, that means change is coming. Something's changing. And at that moment, I was feeling great. I'm blissful. I'm happy. But I'm like, you know what? I could use some change. I'd like to not have to walk to these waterfalls by myself. I'd love some company. It's great to go alone and be in nature, but you know, I want to share my life a little bit more. Maybe my husband is going to start doing things with me. That was the change I wanted. So I was like happy to see those fives. I'm like, hey, let's change some things. Maybe I'll start selling more artwork, or maybe, you know, I'll be able to get a job that's just photography because I love it. It just fuels my spirit. So let's bring on some change. So I drive home, 555 all the way. The next day was a Saturday. My husband was acting more distant than usual. Being a Scorpio, something's up. My spider senses are in full activation mode. So when he makes his way to bed late that night, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning as usual, I said to him, you know when you're about to say something to someone and you know, or you ask yourself, am I sure I want to know the answer? I had that going on in my mind. So I spoke up and asked the question anyway. It needed to be said. I said, so what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you lately? Something's going on. Oh, I don't really know. Maybe I just don't want to be here anymore. What? What do you mean you don't want to be here anymore? What are you talking about? I guess I'm just not suited for marriage. What? Why? What's going on? I don't really know. So no real answer there. He just didn't think he was suited for marriage. Just a month before, we had had our 7th anniversary, and a year before that, we had bought a brand new house. We didn't argue, we didn't fuss and fight. We didn't do a lot of things together. He did his thing and I did mine, like I said. But we got along. And now suddenly you're just not suited for marriage and you don't want to be with me anymore? This is the man. I'm not going to cry. This is a man I thought I would die with. I thought he was my forever, and that even though we didn't do a lot together, we had different things we liked to do. I thought we would be together forever. And now he's telling me, nope, don't think so. Wow. So real quickly, we sold everything, sold the house, and separated. Parted ways. My life crumbled before me. Dear universe, can you take back those 5s now? Because this is not the change I was hoping for. Oh, goodness. I am not going to cry. But you see, oh, it got hard. I found myself so depressed. Unable to move, you know, unable to even look forward, unable to even think about doing anything more. I was at the point where I just wanted to give up. I'd been through so much already. I had spent my entire life trying to be a great person, to make sure that my life at some point would be great. I'm not going to do anything in any kind of wrong way or bad way. I want karma to be on my side. So I have always worked at doing the best I could. And now this. It's okay though. There's a happy ending. I promise. Beyond the tears, there's a lot of smiles that are coming. But I was at a point where I didn't see them. I didn't know if they would ever come. I thought, wow, am I really doomed to be like this forever? No. Then one day, one evening, I thought, I'm going to share my story. Other people that are going through this hell need to know they're not alone. So I started videoing the journey, sharing with you all my failures and progresses. At the beginning, if you go back to my early videos, you're going to see a lot of this, a lot of crying. And then you'll slowly see those tears just fade away. Because I let go of all that stuff, all the things that had gone wrong. I just let it go. And started working on feeling better. Throwing away those bricks that didn't work anymore. And started rebuilding my life with new bricks. And look, I tell you what, it's almost a year later, and I feel like a completely different person. My life may not be exactly where I want it to be yet, but I feel it is on the way. These eyelashes are getting on my nerves. Stop doing that. You know, we go through the storm and it destroys our life. It knocks everything down. We can't see through. We just are working on surviving that storm, aren't we? And then the clouds move out of the way and the sun comes out, and we are looking at a mess. Everything is everywhere. Nothing is where it's supposed to be. Then we start getting to work, putting things where they belong, rebuilding. And in that rebuild, we have choices. We have options, don't we? We can rebuild the way it needs to be, the way we want it to be, the way we want our life to go, and how we want it to look and feel. And it's hard to see that in the middle of that storm. And it's hard to see that whenever we are rebuilding. We just start picking up the bricks. We start picking up all the pieces and just putting them where they belong. So that's what I've been doing. And my world isn't finished yet. I'm still building it up. But let me tell you, that change, even though I hated it so much and it brought me so far down and knocked my world into a million pieces, I'm so glad it happened. Because I feel happier than I've ever felt in my entire life. I'm still alone. I don't have a significant other. There's no one else in my life. But I don't need that. My happiness does not depend on someone else. My happiness is right here inside of me. My happiness is building my life the way I want it to be. And I'm doing that every single day. And I'm sharing my journey with you all so you all can see life is messy. Life is hard. It's not perfect. It's not pretty. But at the same time, it's beautiful. Things happen to us to change us because we are meant to change and grow. The life I was living back then, it wasn't good. I shouldn't have had to be going out all by myself and feeling so alone. Not at that time in my life. I shouldn't have had to feel that way. So Spirit, the universe, changed my world for me. They forced me into change. And I hated it, but now I love it. And I'm so grateful and thankful. All of you out there that are going through that storm right now, have faith that it's going to get better, because it will. Rebuild your life and be careful about the bricks that you use. Pay attention and build the life that you want. Have a great day, everyone. And remember that no matter what you're going through, Spirit loves you.